Warning, the voices heard in this video are made synthetically using artificial intelligence. Nothing in this video reflects anything actually stated by the real-life individuals involved. This video is for entertainment purposes only, and serious political content will be avoided for that purpose. Enjoy!
Hey viewers, what's good? We are here in a brand new Grey Warden hood, where the Avar once stood, and we are about to take a frolic in the wood.
Total Bar's good shit, Joe, and welcome back to Dragon Age Awakening viewers. We have a long episode for you all today.
Looks like in classic dwarf fashion, we are about to diggy hole. Unfortunately, our ancestors would not look favorably on us for sitting back and watching our workers dig the hole instead of us getting our hands dirty instead.
Look, when you are a living god and commander-in-chief, there comes a time you have to assign some of your work to your assistants. And I, for one, have fully mastered this skill, so watch and learn.
So the diggers do all the work, and Joe gets all the credit that sounds awfully relevant to real-life Sleepy.
I have no idea what you mean. I'm just keeping our sword arms fresh for all the darkspawn in the caves, Donald. Also, you would think when the wardens were settling in at their new keep, the first thing they would check for is nearby caves or entrances the darkspawn could enter. I mean, did no one wander down the basement and notice the massive cave forming downstairs?
I mean, yeah, when we look at it now, it seems incredibly careless of the wardens to not notice their keep had tunnels. But considering we only inherited this keep a few months ago, and we don't even know when the wardens began actually inhabiting the keep, it's far more believable that they didn't take the time to investigate the basement and other defensive flaws of the keep.
Someone left a poor little dog all alone in the basement. I'm glad the old girl took out every darkspawn that tried to mess with her.
Well, just like every other dog you interact with, Sleepy, you can't train them worth a damn. We should just be lucky this one didn't rip off one of the keep servants' hands.
Ouch, low blow. But thankfully calming the dog doesn't do anything but give a small amount of extra approval from Nathaniel.
I'm not hearing that from a president who has never owned a pet bozo. Also, damn, this is a really small world. The girl who is trapped in the basement just so happens to be Nathaniel's surrogate mother.
I mean, this was his childhood home, and I guess for as much as a bastard as Hal was, he was a dedicated employer, considering we meet at least 2 servants who have been employed at the keep since Nathaniel was a child.
Oh, please don't give that bitch an ounce of praise. My dad was a bastard too, and he kept some workers on even after he croaked. It's just something the rich do, since loyal employees don't ask for things like raises or lawsuits. I'm sure those 2 long-term employees were nothing more than tax write-offs.
Well, whatever the case, it's a notable lore point that shows Hal as uncharacteristically loyal all the same. Also, good shit remembering the side caches. Joe, every bit of loot in Awakening is worth our attention, especially the ring in this cache, the Tingler. A really solid ring that adds some good tank stats.
Truthfully, I was just looking for companion gifts in the side passages for Ogren and Nathaniel. But I figured I might as well loot anything that old bastard Hal was hiding. It's not like he deserves it.
Ooh, damn, that's what I like to hear, Joe. You're finally being based.
Speaking of gifts, I think we should make a quick addition to each of our episode schedules. We have 6 companions in total, and each have their own side quests. I think it is reasonable that in addition to the 1 main quest per episode, we each tackle 2 companion quests each episode to balance out everything for the viewer's experience.
That sounds good, I think. Since Ogren's is going to take forever to complete, I will double back to Amaranthine to tackle Nathaniel's and Anders' side quest. Besides, I have to go back and pick up Wynne's side quest before the forest anyway, since Donald refuses to talk to her and we need to grab it before the forest mission.
Yeah, I'm still beefing with her for criticizing my appreciation of goth women, and I forgive but never forget, which means I'm not doing her any favors, even if my life depended on it.
Well, Donald, I can already assume one of your companion quests during your episode will be Ogren, since that's someone you will talk to. Also, I saw some comments suggesting that we should travel around the main quest missions and pick up all the companions immediately before finishing any main quest. While that is certainly an option, it would be really awkward from a narrative standpoint, especially for you, the viewers, and ultimately this isn't necessary, since even after completing all 3 main quests, you can still finish every companion quest and exhaust all their dialogue.
Yeah, trust us. Our path is keeping you, the viewers, in mind, we promise. Also, shaking these prisoners down for their clothes in exchange for their freedom is really giving Fallout morality vibes. It's pretty funny, but it's just chaotic to be chaotic.
Hey, it's funny, and it teaches these guys there's no such thing as a free lunch. But of course, we have sleepy student loan forgiveness Biden here to free them for nothing.
Hey man, let's focus on the common enemy here. Look how unmaintained Howe's family crypt is.
My God, you're right, of course. That bum not only keeps the prison next to his ancestor's grave, but his grave is a goddamn mess and haunted, absolutely pathetic.
Yeah, the Howe crypt is only slightly better than storing your family on the golf field, but don't forget to grab the key in one of the coffins in the Howe bow.
Barry, I saw a massive twitch when you mentioned the bow. You only do that when you have a lore yap, so might as well get it out of the way.
Thank you, Joe. The story behind the Howe bow is that it was owned by Nate's grandfather, Padrick, who left the family after the Ferelden Rebellion to join the Grey Wardens. However, it is well established that Nathaniel already had a grandfather, Tarleton Howe, who we talked about as being the 90-year-old who sided with the Orlesians during the rebellion and was overthrown and hung by the Cowslans. So Padrick could only be Nathaniel's grandfather if Old Man Tarleton had a husband, in addition to obviously having a wife to birth Rendon. But then if Padrick was Tarleton's husband, why didn't Amaranthine go to Padrick after Tarleton was killed? The land went to Rendon's uncle instead, and that's not normally how inheritance works.
This is making my head hurt. What's the solution here?
The solution is Nathaniel was mistaken about Padrick being his grandfather. Whether he was like a grandfather because he was Tarleton's boyfriend or a great uncle, we will never know, but there's no way in hell Tarleton wasn't Nathaniel's grandfather. Tarleton was established both in game and the extended lore.
Well, lore break aside, we got the important gift for Nathaniel, so his approval is already slowly maxing out. Now let's go save his surrogate mom.
It's good to have a part of my family's legacy again. Something to be proud of.
Damn, we were too late. The body isn't even fresh.
The fuck you mean the body isn't fresh? What was the game plan if it was?
Look, Barry, we have saved so many damsels every once in a while.
There must be some
You got to hold out hope for a reward.
Never mind, I immediately regret asking for clarification. You two just really need to find God.
You're lost, Barry.
Some people, am I right, Joe?
Well, moving on past whatever this is theirs, a few more important loot drops in this dungeon. We have a gold earring for Anders in the rock pile. And Adria also drops the Ring of Mastery, which gives 10 spell power. And when combined with the Ring of Discipline, gives a total of 12 extra Constitution as a set bonus.
Goddamn anything that makes the goated mage class stronger gets me bricked up. I definitely need to grab that for the viewers this episode now.
Of course, you need to make mages even more broken than they already are. It's not enough they have blood magic and arcane warrior, right?
Hey man, mages got the calmest amount of buffs in Awakening to the point they are almost balanced in the expansion. Let me enjoy what I can. Also, this sergeant just straight up admitted POTUS is on a completely different level from the other Grey Wardens at the Keep.
I'm glad we have a sergeant who can state the obvious. What an excellent character trait to have.
Even if it's obvious glaze, it's glaze all the same, and it's appreciated. Anyways, I guess we just have to wait for Daddy Wall to do his thing and clear out the tunnel before we can finish our revenge tour on the darkspawn.
Yeah, we have to finish one main quest first before... Wait, Donald, did you just call him Daddy Wall?
I think there was a silent agreement to just ignore that Barry anyways. There was some side content we finished in the mines that we have to turn in, like the ore deposits for Wade to improve our army. And I think it's finally time we got some new gear for POTUS from Wade as well. We can even respec his abilities and skills a little to make him even stronger than S tier.
Thank God for that, boys. You're not really playing Awakening, right, if you don't absolutely break the game with armor runes and tier 9 gear.
Single point to block off. Never you fear, lass.
Listen to me, Bart.
No, big Templar man. What are you going to do with that?
You know, Anders and Ogren remind me of two other people I hang around with quite frequently, but I can't quite place my finger on who it is.
I can't imagine who you're talking about, but in the meanwhile, we have to force Wade and Heron to actually do their jobs and improve our soldiers' armor.
It will be worth it when they develop a standard armor so strong it forms its own Knight Order.
Just another casual win for POTUS and Alistair for hiring them.
Well, we did things a little out of order, but here's the conversation about Nathaniel's lore-breaking grandfather and how he joined the Grey Wardens and also likely died from the taint of the Grey Warden joining.
Well, I'm glad Nathaniel was made of stronger stuff than his granddad otherwise, who is going to carry the boats and open all those locked containers.
True, but that's at least more believable than Nathaniel having a second grandfather who for some reason didn't inherit the land after Tarleton died. Also, it looks like they actually included a line, "If we already gave Nathaniel the bow, got to love it when they pay attention to little details like that."
You know, I hate to point out more lore objections to his story here, but it's kind of weird. His grandfather wanted to join the Wardens, considering the Wardens were exiled in Ferelden until about 20 years ago. That either means Patrick waited until they were just brought back to join the Order, or he sought the Order outside of Ferelden to join them, neither of which is a very likely story.
Well, considering every character's arc is shorter in Awakening compared to Origins, I doubt we will have to hear about Nate's lore-breaking grandfather again. Moving on, as you can see, POTUS has far better drip because we did a lot between the last cutaway. Take it away, Sleepy.
So we bought the clamshell plate armor, Storm Chaser gauntlet, and Mage Hunter from Heron, and the Fleet Feet from the bartender in Amaranthine. We also dumped some Grandmaster Stout runes on POTUS and a few other companions so that his HP is through the roof now. Between that and his massive dex bonus from all the equipped items, I'm not even sure Donald could go down now with all the buffs we have.
What's even scarier is this isn't even our final form. We still have the 3 boss items to unlock throughout the game before Awakening is done. But for now, we are ready to tackle the entire darkspawn army on our own. No matter how broken we are, tackling golems of Amgarak on Nightmare as a non-mage is going to be difficult. So, even though this seems like overkill, now the viewers will understand why we are going so hard by the end of the series.
I doubt anyone is excited about your Deep Road Slogfest. I'm sure they simply want POTUS to ride in with his god-tier items and walk into the Morrigan Mirror with my wife with them so that neither can be seen again.
Well, before we get our happy ending, we still have plenty of daddy issues to deal with in our squad.
Well, speaking of daddy issues, let's see what Ogren's getting up to.
Well, bro is just hitting the sauce harder than my own dad sounds, like he is retelling the farm incident from last episode, where Donald let Ogren collapse.
Eat a dick, Joe. Who are you, General MacArthur?
Who is General MacArthur?
He's some role player in the comments, and I think he might outdo any of us in our role-playing. But moving on to Unk, it looks like bro gets more drunk in Awakening than he did in Origins, which is pretty damn impressive.
Well, realistically, in Awakening, we are in a keep that has supplies, while in Origins, we were on the road, so that does track. Also, the conversation with our dog that Ogren mentions is not only hilarious, but it does actually happen through party banter in Origins. Ogren will suggest the chariots and even try to put a saddle on Bo to try to ride him. Important to note, though, even though Ogren mentions the chariot, the toy chariot gift in Awakening is not for him, but rather Sigrun, kind of confusing, but an important heads up all the same.
Shit good looking out, just like Origins. I'm going to let you take the lead on the gifts, Barak. I know since there's way less dialogue in Awakening, the gifts are vital to maxing out approval.
Just pass him the controller then, little bro. Also, goddamn, we still have more setup to do. When the hell are we going to start the main quest?
I hate to say it, but we might not start the main quest until about halfway through the episode. After this coronation ceremony, we have to head to Amaranthine to start the conspiracy quest and the 2 companion quests. Also, god fucking damn it, it's another Landsmeet crowd.
Shit, I knew I should have tackled this setup during my episode. I just didn't want to deal with talking to Howe's goddamn vassals. Only reason I saw to do this myself was to find the secret route and air that bitch out immediately, since I don't fuck with anyone who was subscribed to Howe's OnlyFans.
Speaking of that, y'all think Ban Esmeralda was banging Howe? She is surprisingly devoted to him, and I can't think of a reason that didn't involve a small amount of knocking boots.
While I don't normally like to fuel you two's horny theories, I have to admit, that would probably explain why she was so personally devoted towards avenging him. I know Howe was paying off his allies too, but money should never make you reach the chaotic, stupid levels that she's reaching. Also, it's a nice touch that they showed the oaths of fealty once with Ban Esmeralda, to show what everyone was saying and then skipped ahead to the end. Wish we could do that in IRL ceremonies too, it would save so much time.
Thank God they cut ahead and dispersed. I was about to have a mental breakdown with the crowds again. Well, let's go hit up this Edelbrecht guy He seems like the most chill person in this party.
Edelbrecht is the only homie here on God. Not only does he offer knights to help us fight the darkspawn, but if you're a human noble warden, he will recognize you and say he always admired the Cowslands and that he had no part in Howe's betrayal. Best noble here, no contest.
So I take it we are all in agreement to give him the troops. I mean, the city has walls and its own garrison, it's flat out. The wrong decision in IDK, if the trade route does anything.
The farm is beneficial for another event that happens later, and it would be beneficial towards supporting the one big noble that is on our side here. However, the trade routes can give the merchant and vigils keep another upgrade for those Silverite runes, if we want them. It's our last chance since we took out the smugglers.
Barak, we are already going to be broken beyond belief. We don't need to go even further beyond.
All right, Farms it is, but let's hear about this funny little assassination plot first.
This isn't the weakest attempt on my life I have seen, but it's certainly up there. Wish I had someone like Sir Temra in my corner giving me a heads up, though, so I had IRL prep time too.
You're not wrong about this being a weak-ass attempt at our life, but the reasoning they do it also really bothers me.
Oh boy, here comes the yapping.
Valid crash out this time, Joe. This shit is actually wacky.
So the reason for the conspiracy plot against you is simply because they want revenge for us killing Howe. Why they are so loyal to Howe is never even explained. So the only explanation we get is they lost money because Howe died, which is not a good goddamn reason to attempt to kill the slayer of the archdemon. And that is ignoring all the other titles the hero of Ferelden can have, like possibly being the Queen of Ferelden or a living paragon of Orzammar. If these idiots succeeded in assassinating POTUS, they would risk a war with all of Orzammar as well, but I guess that money is still worth it, right? The most glaring issue with this conspiracy plot is that they actually had more valid reasons than just greed that they could have used to not only make this more understandable, but more interesting too, since they could have tied this back to your chosen origin.
Let us give you guys two examples as to what we are talking about. For example, if you are a mage warden instead of just revenge for Howe, the nobles of Ferelden could be upset that for the first time a mage is in a position of power in Ferelden. Maybe they are bigoted towards mages like so many others, or maybe they don't want Amaranthine to turn into the Tevinter Imperium, so they try to kill you.
As another example, if you're a goated human noble warden, the nobles could still believe Howe's lies that the Cowslands are actually spies for the Orlesians, and they believe that killing you will save their country. Hell, Nathaniel still believes that lie at the start of this game, and he has more brain cells than every noble here combined.
To put some icing on the cake, if you're an Orlesian warden, which is the unique background in awakening the game, creates a more unique reason why the nobles want to kill you, since a lot of these guys still remember the Orlesian occupation and feel like giving an Orlesian the title of Arl is a step back towards everything Merrick fought for. Also, since the Orlesian warden is just some guy and not the established killer of the archdemon, it is more feasible that they would try to kill him.
Well, while we were spit roasting the conspiracy plot, Zaid over here mentioned finding someone called the Dark Wolf. Why does that sound familiar?
The Slim Coldry quest line in Denerim ended with us being named the Dark Wolf for all the problems we caused Loghain.
So what does that mean we have to find ourselves?
No, it means some asshole stole our title from us to get clout.
Oh shit, well in that case we gotta track down this nerd and take his goddamn lunch money.
Sounds good to me. I didn't take 1 point in pickpocketing to have our title stolen. Just have to pick up one more quest before we head into the city proper.
Well, here's the other long-term Howe employee. I'm glad at least one of Nate's childhood servants survived the darkspawn attack. We're lucky Bro was so well kept up with the family.
This guy mentioned that Howe's other son died in the war. Did that Dragon Peak guy raise his army against the Howes after all, or was it the darkspawn that did him in?
Probably the darkspawn. They were pressuring the entire country, and I doubt Alistair, Honora, and Aemon let any other noble raise a sword against each other post-Lands meet Civil War.
Well, now we can hit up his sister in the city, so we have 3 more stops before we can begin our forest frolicking arc in Awakening.
This might be some of the longest filler we have done in one sitting, but to be fair, half of Awakening's content is companions and side quests.
Thank you.
So, I guess this was to be expected. Besides, the companions are all top tier anyway. They are definitely worth the time investment.
Well, here Anders goes 3 drinks in and he's already getting political about the circle on Maine. Does every conversation with this guy have to be about how bad the circle is? Like, can he get his own personality?
To be fair, it's the only part of his personality besides a love of cats that is present in both versions of Anders. I think especially in Awakening, however, his circle criticisms are important. The issues with the circle in Origins is fairly brushed to the side. Before Anders, the only people criticizing the circle were blood mages or Morrigan, who knows nothing about the circle besides what Flemeth told her. Here we finally have someone who has criticisms of the Chantry and the circle, has first-hand experience with the organization, and is not an insane radical blood mage, at least in Awakening. It's a good character arc to dip your toes into Dragon Age 2.
Funny you mentioned the blood mage thing, because if Anders is a blood mage during this conversation, you can call him out for already making him one. We didn't do that, though, since it didn't make sense for the character at this time. Plus, we have a better choice for the blood mage specialization. Viewers, if you know, you know.
See? I knew you understood. Never mind me. Now and again I recall that I'm not sitting in a cell and I have to smile.
I still think he whines too much, but whatever. By the time it's my next episode, Anders' character arc will be over. Also, does the fact the Dark Wolf knows we were looking for him confirm that he has a plant in our keep?
I think that does indeed confirm someone in the keep is leaking information to the Dark Wolf. I would be more concerned if Bro was a professional assassin instead of a Robin Hood-like thief. I mean, what is Bro going to do with an inside man steal our good china?
Again, we're so desensitized by this point we can't be bothered. Anyway, here's Nathaniel's sister. And in a surprising twist, BioWare remembered that she and Nathaniel are siblings and made her look at least somewhat like Nathaniel. It's a Christmas miracle.
Girl's about to lay down the biggest roast session of how imaginable.
It wouldn't be a proper family gathering without every family member getting roasted. Also, if your human noble Delilah reveals that Hal was trying to arrange her and our warden for marriage, and then Delilah roasts the shit out of the warden before realizing that the new commander of the Grey is that very Kuzlan. It's one of the funniest scenes and pays homage to the very first conversation with Hal in the Origin, where he can be seen trying to hook you guys up.
You always worshipped Father, right from when you were a little boy. Come, brother, let us sit and catch up a bit, shall we?
Bro just got the revelation of the century. I wish everyone was as easy to convince as Nathaniel. I feel like there would be way less conflict if more people were able to sit down, hear the opposing side out, and change perspectives when presented with new information.
To be fair, I think Nathaniel only changed his mind because his sister talked to him and showed him proof. I think if our warden showed Nathaniel proof ourselves, he would have still rejected it.
Well, now we can all be on the same page of hating Hal. Also, this isn't the last we have seen of Delilah or her son. We can end up meeting them far later on in Kirkwall during the last act of Dragon Age 2.
I wish I'd known some of this sooner. I feel like such a fool. Now please, let's get back to our business. I need to think.
Well, looks like we finally tracked down the fraud who took our title.
The damn coward isn't even going to show his face. Well, time to reveal who we are and then give this fraud the biggest suplex to date. The Grey Fox would leave this guy pissing and shitting himself anyway.
Hey, my guy, you're speaking to the Dark Wolf. Don't try to act cool now.
Who the fuck are you to tell us what we do and don't have time for where the hell is the murder knife option?
I mean, we can turn him into the guards, but that's actually it for the unique dialogue. Unfortunately, now we just have to play his game.
You must admit.
Wait, that's it? All that shit me and you did in Origins, the payoff, was just those 2 lines of dialogue and then back to business without making this dude piss himself or get revenge for stealing our title.
Yeah, unfortunately, they didn't implement anything to kill this guy for taking our name or blackmail him to work for us for free, since he owes us for taking our name. Still, the Slim Coldry quests were worth it for the money and for the get-back at Loghain alone. Sometimes you have to roll with the punches.
There was cut content that originally made getting the Dark Wolf's help in the conspiracy more involved and difficult, since it is obviously the ideal route you're supposed to take. Originally, the Dark Wolf was going to ask you to prove yourself with a shadow job or two, like the Slim Coldry quests in Origins, before agreeing to track down the conspirators. If you proved you were the Dark Wolf from Origins. However, this would bypass the requirement. The shadow jobs would have involved a different part of Amaranthine, however. which is why this was cut in favor of simply paying the Dark Wolf.
I don't know which route I like more, honestly, but considering this is just a side quest, I think the better option was paying him or harassing him to bypass the payment.
Well, now that we paid him his blood money, we have to wait and do one main quest before his investigation bears fruit. Let's do one more quest with Anders before we tackle the meat of this episode, shall we?
This is probably one of the easiest side quests to miss, since there's no quest indicator. You need to talk to this girl with Anders. And unlike other quests like Nathaniel or Sigrun, the conversation doesn't just auto-trigger when you walk up to her.
That's probably a warning that we shouldn't help Mage Alistair with his issues, but by all means poke the sleeping bear.
Donald, name one time I have refused to help a mage in need.
You killed that blood mage chick who was begging for mercy on the tower floor in Broken Circle.
Okay, but she was mean, whereas Anders is weird, but he kind of chill. So let's take out his phylactery. Also, if you are a mage warden, Anders will suggest your phylactery is probably in storage too, and that we should destroy our phylacteries together in an act of mage bonding.
I'm sure this will go far better than the last time a mage asked us to destroy a phylactery for him.
Wait, hold on. So a mage warden confirmed has a phylactery in Denerim, since that is what the first enchanter tells him in the origin.
Yeah, obviously.
So then if your warden is a mage, how the hell by the end of Dragon Age 2 does he go missing? Couldn't Cassandra just ask the Ferelden Chantry for the hero's phylactery at any time? Why does only Morrigan and Liliana ever know where he is?
That's actually a really good point there. No way the writers just didn't forget about phylacteries in Dragon Age 2, since Anders and the Warden's phylactery just seemingly go missing from the writing in 2.
And while we're talking about missing writing, apparently Nathaniel does know about his great-uncle Byron. So him misnaming Padrick as his grandfather seems less likely.
All right, I admit it. The convoluted Howe family tree has broken me. Nathaniel could have 13 paternal grandfathers, and I wouldn't bat an eye at this point.
I feel a little bad that they removed Byron Howe. But maybe that will teach other nobles not to cross the Cowsland family. Or maybe we'll just have to teach them the hard way. Either way, it's a good afternoon for me.
Well, Nate's going to have to put in work to redeem the Howes, name no pressure, though. Let's go check in on one of the former squad, the baddie grandma herself.
Wynne out here, greeting us more warmly than most BioWare romances greet us in the sequels.
It's just like how Rex is the warmest greeting in Mass Effect 2, despite being the old-ass Uncle Krogan of the group.
Wynne, just like Liliana, has a pretty damn good reason for not helping us in Awakening. She has to go scold the entire Libertarian Party, so the Circle doesn't disband for a few more years at least. She has a small quest for us that is insanely relevant to the expanded lore, so we are going to be taking care of that for her while we are in the woods.
See, this is why I can tolerate Anders right now. Even if Bro can't stop yapping about how oppressed he is, he at least isn't radical yet, and still believes in the Circle on a foundational level.
Justice really did warp Anders hard from what we see in Awakening. I am actually kind of glad. In this case, we are taking a break before Dragon Age 2. I'm going to need to huff some cope before we deal with vengeance. Anders.
Wynne seems pretty calm about the situation, despite the Circle possibly collapsing around her if the vote goes through. It's kind of surprising for someone who typically takes everything seriously and expects the worst to happen.
I think after dealing with the world-ending threat, that was the 5th blight, and surviving not only the battle but gathering the armies at conference sounds like an easy goddamn Tuesday to her.
Grandma has certainly seen it all well. Since we are balls deep in the mage plight, let's go help Anders screw over the hard-working Templars.
Looks like the so-called hard-working Templars have other ideas in mind.
Oh, God damn it, this chick is back. It seriously could have been any other Templar, and they picked this chick who lies as easily as she breathes. I don't even know how she believes the bullshit she is saying.
Yeah, saying the Chantry is more important than the literal king of the country is saying the quiet part out loud. The crown straight up is in charge. That's why mages can be in the Grey Wardens undisturbed. And also, why Grey Wardens can track down blood mages to do their bidding, but that's a story for the later games.
Time to show this bitch how a true Templar fights.
Donald, I'm actually amazed you're willing to defy the Templars here.
Look, I'm Team Templar every day of the week, but Anders has been a loyal fireball and haste bot, and no one but me gets to screw over a member of the squad. Even though it would be hilarious to turn Anders in with the double cross, I don't want this bitch to have a win.
I moved to a single tier. Donald is actually going to stand on business for a mage.
The enemy of my enemy is my temporary friend. Just know that everybody gets one and nothing more. Also, this was the easiest damn fight of this entire expansion. They didn't even have the numbers advantage.
Ironically, it might have been more canon to turn Anders in here, since we know that he randomly decides to leave the Wardens, regardless of how good of friends he is with POTUS. Still, after this scene here, there's not much left with Anders' character arc, besides finding him a furry friend.
I guess they do.
Well, with that, Anders is now certified bro status with us, and we can finally go investigate those silly little caravan attacks after we loot the mage warehouse.
Good to see our new squad's pull-up game is still on point.
Hey, what's up, my guys? Why don't you have a seat while I ask you what you are doing here?
Bro was trying to stare us down before he realized it's the living god POTUS in golden armor pulling up.
POTUS is really out here looking like a custody with the gold armor and max strength build, and these bandits still think they have a chance with us.
Hey, Joe. I am all for testing out our new abilities, but that's the third time we have used Fade Burst and had it do negative damage. The abilities damage is based off our willpower, which we have ignored most of the game, so really our damage efficiency would be better if we stick to auto-attacking or other abilities. However, the damage does double against demons.
I was really hoping the damage calculation was a fluke earlier, but I guess not. It sucks that one of the first area of effect spells for warriors does negative damage, but I guess we have to roll with it.
Goddamn Nathaniel out here sniping the fleeing bandits, that's cold as shit.
Bringing an edgelord has its advantages, I suppose. Also, how does POTUS figure the bandits didn't do this? That seems like a wild assumption just because there's a lot of damage here. Maybe the bandits just had magical explosives or a mage.
Now, don't doubt POTUS's big brain observation, Sleepy. They made him Paragon for a reason, and it's not just because he can outfight a dragon.
Oh God, I forgot how much I missed my beloved Sylvans. I'm really going to have to enjoy this map's enemies. While I can, I doubt I will ever see these guys again unless Veilguard pulls a literal miracle.
It's pretty crazy that lighting the Sylvans on fire doesn't even stop them. They just keep attacking while still on fire.
I mean, that makes sense. The main stopping power of fire is the pain of burning. If the creature you're fighting doesn't have inherent pain receptors, fire is actually the last thing you should use. Same thing applies to zombies, if you've read the Zombie Survival Guide by Max Brooks.
We got another runner take that shot, Nathaniel.
No, I think we are supposed to listen to this one.
Listen to this one is crazy work, Joe.
But they're goddamn bandits. They are the one type of human that is socially acceptable to kill in every single video game.
Attacks, but it wasn't us, I swear. We just thought there would be valuables left behind.
I can hear them there in the goddamn trees.
I smell someone of higher plot importance approaching, boys.
Help me. She's here. Gotta get away.
Mommy, sorry, Mommy. Wait, hold on a minute, Joe. You're into Valanna too?
Oh, hell yeah. She's basically Meryl, but blonde and more of a dom. But, you know, elves are my number one.
I was just thinking she's basically Morrigan, but blonde and with an even more revealing outfit. This is a momentous revelation, my brother.
The hell are you two on about? You guys simp for the same characters all the time. Just look at Marty, the Lady of the Forest, and the Desire Demons.
Barack, you are a man of little culture. Those are NPCs. It's easy to love them and leave them. But companions have a higher scrutiny since we can't just have a casual encounter with them and leave it there. So we have to have higher standards for our companions, and to find out we both have the same taste is a momentous occasion for our friendship.
You know, Donald, I forgot to mention this earlier, but are you using a new fragrance? You are owning that scent, King.
Why, thank you, Joe. It's my new Trump fragrance for gamers, and while you still smell of age and ice cream, I must say your gameplay today has really been locked in.
Thanks, bestie.
I am so uncomfortable right now. What is going on?
It's okay if you don't understand, Barack. Some people will never understand the devotion and passion that real men have for their 2D women.
My God, I really just want to find the nearest toaster and bathtub right now to get away from whatever this is, but we still have plenty of episode, so I'm just going to have to survive through it. Anyways, boys, how cool would it be if the Keeper specialization had that wood-style jutsu teleporting that Valanna does in cutscenes?
That is admittedly a bit of false advertising. It sucks she can use tree teleportation like in D&D, but in-game the Keeper specialization just makes her immobile and pretty useless in fights.
It at least prepares us for the future trend of every mage outside of our party getting teleportation powers. Granted, though, my girl Meryl kind of gets a teleportation spell in the form of disappearing underground and traveling really fast. I wonder if that is actually what Velanna was doing in cutscenes.
Well, whatever it was, it just sucks. We don't get to try it out in games. Also, here we have reason number one why I don't really care for Velanna's character.
Don't talk about my girl like that.
Thank you for your input cheerleading section, but don't boo me, I am right.
She just got tricked and made a mistake, that's all. She was just being a little silly.
Just being silly? All right, let's start with the fact of how obvious of a setup all of this was. The human weapons weren't scattered around the camp, but they were dumped in the corner like someone just had a bag and emptied them right there. They then placed a big old obvious sword at the entrance of camp, just in case you missed the sword pile. Secondly, there's no bodies here. Either just weapons, the bodies were all dumped in a separate pile, just out of view, and were somehow never discovered by her.
Okay, but counterpoint, she's really pretty.
Ah, yes, I forgot. If you're attractive, you can't be guilty. My bad.
All good, Barack. This is all new to you also. Donald, I'm going to grab the granite for your walls, so no worries, buddy.
Thank you, Joe. You truly are my brother from another mother. Also looks like we have yet another Zaid voice, this time trapped in a stone statue.
Better to be frozen in stone than frozen in a jar, boys.
Yeah, no one is touching that one, Joe, but fun fact about this quest, the only thing that matters is what reward you get. Even if you persuade the statue of war to drop his vengeance pursuit, you can still disturb the bones to fight the Magister. Also, apparently disturbing the bones doesn't end up killing him, it just seals him away for a few years, which means this Tevinter mage is technically at least partially immortal.
Well, since the only thing that matters is the reward, I'm just going to kill the Magister. I got to raise my boss counter at some point in this episode. And POTUS is a warrior at the end of the day. Dueling and killing people seems like the go-to solution to his problems.
Incredibly based, Joe. That's what I like to see.
Well, while we kill the Ancient Magister and solve the rune puzzle, why don't we pass the time with a comment question? Do you have one prepped for us, Joe?
You know, I'm always ready with a comment question, Barack, so viewers staying on the topic of Awakening changes. One of the best changes was the new abilities and specializations that Awakening added. They not only give you new toys to use against enemies, but they also greatly level the playing field, making warriors and rogues on more even ground with mages in terms of balance. With that out of the way, what new talent added in Awakening is your personal favorite for me, while there's a ton of options. To choose from Hand of Winter from the Battle Mage tree is easily my personal favorite. I have always loved ice magic abilities, and Hand of Winter, like we said in the spell tier list, is just a stronger cone of cold with no friendly fire, good crowd control, and strong damage. There is never a reason to not use this spell.
What an inspired choice, Joe. You're truly representing the mage players well with that one. As for me, I can't think of a cooler ability in this game than Massacre. The animation and description make it seem like your warrior is using actual Conquer's hockey to defeat low-tier enemies in one shot. We all know POTUS would have the color of the Supreme King, but actually using it as an actual offensive ability in game is amazing. And one of the best ways I could describe Conquer's hockey to someone who doesn't watch One Piece.
One Piece mentioned.
The One Piece is real.
Well, good picks, boys. Let's see if we can go 3 for 3. Well, personally, I think some of the new rogue talents are all gems that add some fresh quality of life for rogues. However, my favorite of the new talents is the new capstone, Unending Flurry. Not only is it a deadly flurry of blows that works with momentum, but you can combo the capstone with the other abilities in the tree, like Low Blow and Twin Strikes, to further increase the damage of the ability, which adds some extra interaction to the rogue gameplay.
Good picks, boys and viewers, by now. I'm sure you all know what to do. Comment down below your favorite talent that Dragon Age Awakening added. Our editor will read and respond to every single one, and he will feature his favorite in our next episode. Speaking of featured comments, Donald, mind showing our featured comment from last episode?
Sure thing, best buddy. Our featured comment comes from Private Penguin, who decided to pull a 1997 Apple catchphrase and thought differently about the comment question. He suggested instead of one permanent party member, we had guest cameos for certain missions that would make sense for the character. For example, we could have had Alistair or Logain at the prologue mission last episode. Then maybe Zevran could have made a guest cameo during the forest mission, as he was hired to by the Merchants Guild to deal with the raids, same as us. Thank you for your comment, Penguin, and we can't wait to hear what you have in store for your favorite talent.
Well, with the necklace illumination grabbed, Joe, you have the privilege of fighting our first boss monster drop. We probably can't build the item until near the end game, but it's nice to grab it all the same.
Hey, I guess that means me and you are tied in bosses now, huh, Donald?
That's terrific to hear. I'm glad you are staying competitive in the race, Joe. I'm sure you are going to fight hard for Dragon Age 2, and it should be fought for. It has its flaws, but a lot of gamers still love it all the same.
I am absolutely convinced that Donald is somehow charmed at this point by you, Joe.
Not charmed, we have just finally settled things. Barack also, that boss was a goddamn joke. He was just a normal Sylvan. With boss health, they didn't even have him talk to us or give him a special ability. Let's just hit up Mage, Grandma's friend, so that we can stay in the canon lore.
If you all are confused about what we are talking about in the novel Asunder, it is canon that during the College of Enchanters meeting in Cumberland that Wynne mentioned both Wynne and Inez were paramount in stopping the Libertarians from leaving the Circle, which kept the Circle stable until everything in Kirkwall happened. This, of course, made Wynne infamous for several reasons, not only because she fought with the hero of Ferelden in the Fifth Blight, but also for being the poster girl for loyalist mages.
Asunder is a pretty good book. It not only features Wynne and her son, but it also brings back Shale and introduces Cole, and even my girl Liliana makes a small appearance. It's got something for everyone in terms of companions.
Asunder might be a solid story, but this side quest is not at all interesting. It's just grabbing some seeds 20 feet away from her. The Wynne roast, however, still made it all worth it. I feel vindicated.
Yeah, we mentioned it last episode as well, but not all quests are made the same in Awakening. Unfortunately, most of them are fetch quests with no choices or exciting gameplay. Still, at least this quest has some interesting lore points in the background that tie into Dragon Age 2.
Yeah, there's not much left to say about this quest, other than the setup is interesting. Let's go explore and find out what our elven waifu is looking for in the forest.
Well, we are definitely close to recruiting her. I can taste it now. We just have to finish deforesting a few more damn Sylvans first.
Hey boys, it's the last time we will probably ever see some of our favorite tree boys ever, unless one of the game designers suddenly wanted to pull out a classic enemy from Origins. Plus, we are getting paid the more of these we kill, so I see this as a win, honestly. Also, here's the corpse pile the darkspawn made of the soldiers, only 30 steps away from Valanna's camp, but I guess she didn't notice it, and she must not be able to smell it either.
Watch what you say about my girl Sue's Bama.
I'm happy you can goon out to the trees, Barry. I'm gonna fight every single one just for you and the money being honest. But there are actual 2D women that deserve our attention. So let's not keep our waifu waiting.
Now, for real, Barack, didn't Michelle teach you it's rude to keep a lady waiting?
Oh, she did, trust me. Michelle has the Dom personality, and you know, she keeps a strap on her at all times.
I really hope you mean gun when you say strap Joe.
Come on, Barry, you know exactly what I mean.
Bah ha ha ha, get fucked, Barack.
Joe, it was one time, and I swear to God, I'm never telling you something. In confidence, again, you're splitting up the band for real.
According to Michelle, the band is not the only thing splitting Barry.
Stop, he's already dead.
Hey Joe, do me a favor and walk down that passageway here. Trust me, there's good loot.
Nice try, Barry. I know there's nothing over there, and my future sight already saw the horrible 8-leg abominations that is spiders. So I'm going straight for the 500th, daily survivor of the darkspawn ambushes.
That's a pretty big dick move for the darkspawn, but at least it's convenient for us that they left one guy alive to tell us the full story of this place before he dies. Our plot armor is coming in clutch right now with our luck.
It's almost maybe too convenient that we just found this guy that has the answer to all our questions about who killed the elves and who has been raiding the caravans.
What do you mean, Joe? You want POTUS to be unlucky or something?
No, that's not what I mean. Maybe it's just me being a old Morrowind gamer, but I would have preferred gathering evidence from all around the forest, like the body pile, codex entries, and physical evidence, and then had POTUS bring this mountain of evidence to Valanna, and had the conversation go terrible or easy, depending on how much effort you put into evidence gathering. Would have just felt more earned that way, since here we just listened to this one guy, then conveniently found a trinket on a darkspawn 3 seconds later that confirms what he said.
That's a good point. Besides word of mouth, the only evidence we get is that we found her sister's amulet, and if she is suspicious that we captured her sister, already wouldn't that just make her more on guard?
You two make a good point. I guess the woods have more quantity over quality to it, because if we just made a straight line for the main quest, we would already be at the final boss by now. Also, careful, Joe, if you put this guy down with a mercy kill, someone in the comments might bitch at you for taking away his agency or something.
Oh no, please don't bitch at us for mercy, killing someone in the comments. Viewers, that engagement against the YouTube algorithm would really teach us a lesson.
That's the great thing about not running for re-election. The viewers can cancel me all they want. If someone is tainted and we can give them the Grey Warden cure, I'm putting them down, no hesitation. Can you imagine how slow and agonizing the taint is, coupled with the fact you have a high chance of becoming a ghoul and killing people after? Also, I appreciate the darkspawn waiting for me to finish my conversation and mercy killing of this guy. It was very courteous of them.
Very demure, very mindful.
Way to date the video with the memes, Donald.
How about I date your mom instead?
Got him good shit, bestie.
I have lived through a lot of national tragedies, and still somehow this might be the worst day of my life.
Oh, don't be a drama queen. Nothing was worse than the episode where we played Darkspawn Chronicles.
That might be fair. Darkspawn Chronicles felt like a colonoscopy with a scyther, but I don't remember looking for the nearest bridge to hop off when we played Darkspawn Chronicles, so my statement remains.
Well, unlike Darkspawn Chronicles, we can get through the more tedious fights quickly, so try to stay with us, drama queen. We still have the most important parts of the mission to get through, and I'm sure everyone's body is ready to recruit Velanna.
Well, an easy clear of the darkspawn and an easy gift grab for our new wife. Let's go track her down to confess our feelings, boys.
Joe, I think she just wants space, not attention.
Girl, you don't have to be a tsundere with us. I know you're just playing hard to get.
Just like Reddit always says, the chase is more important than the capture, boys. We're not going anywhere, girl.
Please never start a dating advice column, either of you. Your Riz is so negative. She's throwing the whole forest at you to get away.
I am sure she's just doing a meet-cute thing right now. She will come around once she realizes how confident and serious we are.
Looks like she is throwing the entire forest population of dogs at us, too. If I knew she was into that, I would have grabbed my collar and leash and asked if she needed another dog.
Here, Donald, I have a spare collar you can borrow, buddy.
Y'all are never beating the allegations at this point. Both yours and our editor's digital footprint is cooked.
Hey, I think our editor's footprint was cooked the moment he first created that 11 Labs account, Barry. A toxic waste bin of a digital footprint is an old friend.
You think a man who publicly simps for 2 de-elven women who would step on him for free is afraid of a little thing like what recruiters and the United States government would think of him?
But now our viewers know that all of you are completely down horrendous. We can't ever come back from that one.
Totally worth it. Well, now that we have successfully depopulated the forest, Joe, let's go get the girl. There's nothing holding you back from your feelings.
With pleasure, Donald. But damn, she's already winded from that brief sprint up the hill. Girl needs to work on her endurance.
Joe, I have seen you try to walk up and down stairs unsuccessfully. You're the last person who gets to roast about someone's endurance.
Ah, yes, the stair joke. Real original, Barack. What original idea are you going to come up with next drone strikes? Free healthcare.
Donald, I can watch any previous episode of our series and find at least 3 or 4 stair jokes you made against Joe. Did I enter into a damn time warp this episode?
You know, I guess all my complaints about finding more evidence was invalid since Valanna just saw the trinket and immediately believed me.
Don't forget that you still have to give her the trinket even after showing her it. The gift still sits in your inventory. It's a weird quirk in this game I never understood.
An important detail is that Valanna is one of only 2 companions that you can not only refuse to recruit, but you straight up kill her. The other, of course, being Nathaniel, since he is a How. While I may not like her, no one's family member deserves to become a brood mother, so I guess she can tag along.
I knew you were coming around to the elven waifu Barry. Welcome to the cultured side of Dragon Age. It's time to dig up that awakening romance mod, Donald.
Already searching, Joe.
I literally never said that.
Why?
But I've been meaning to ask. Donald, aren't you supposed to be loyal to Morrigan in this run? How are you going to explain replacing her with a Dalish elf? Sounds like an awkward conversation in Witch Hunt.
Hey man, me and Velanna can be strictly casual, and what Mommy Morrigan doesn't know won't hurt her.
Facts also. The darkspawn are really practicing being mindful. They waited until after we finished our conversation with Valanna before jumping us again.
Looks like they need to remember to close the doors behind them. They left their base door wide open, and it's probably going to let a draft in.
Or worse, it could let in a POTUS. I feel like there's something important about this next dungeon. We are forgetting, though, and I can't put my finger on what it is.
Oh shit, that's right, Joe. This is super important. You need to unequip the keening blade and your 2 rings off POTUS before you enter the mine. The captured mechanic has a bizarre interaction with your inventory. If you have items that were transferred from origins that don't appear in Awakening, all of your equipped items will be lost forever, since the game can't feasibly equip items on your clone that are not in Awakening naturally. There is a mod that fixes it, but I forgot to install it.
I can't even blame you for that one, Barack. We've had to install several mods already to fix bugs and crashes. It's hard to keep track of all the fixes your favorite game in the series needs.
At least my favorite game in the series has a solid ending and pacing and not a million little MMO and mobile game quests.
Well, at least my favorite game actually has solid graphics, instead of this stiff brown universe that explodes if you try to run it on Ultra.
Ladies, you're both beautiful. It's okay. And speaking of beauty, here's the archpriest of the god of beauty himself.
God, this ugly bastard is about to give us the Diddy special quick lock up the baby oil.
Wait, I just realized this is the second time Joe has fallen into a sleep trap. You remember what happened last time, right, Donald?
Oh shit, Joe, are you still there?
God damn it, how the hell does this keep happening?
I don't know, lazy script writing, I suppose.
I don't know what you mean, Donald, but you can already tell this guy is part of the same group as the Withered from earlier. He says he doesn't want to be our enemy, but he knocks us out, does unspeakable things to us while asleep, and then locks us in prison while stealing all our gear.
And if we encountered the glitch, POTUS would have been straight up in the nude when we woke back up bro as the true darkspawn Diddy.
As much as I wouldn't mind this duet we have going on now, Donald, this is Joe's episode and my phone is dead, so I can't play Leliana's music. How the hell am I supposed to wake him up?
I'm not sure. Maybe we could show him some Dalish Rule 34, and maybe that will snap him out of it.
Wake the fuck up, Sleepy Joe. Guess who's back? Like Slim Shady.
Oh, God. It's time I play keeper to the 2 naughty firsts who wants to prove themselves to Keeper Joe in the Aravels.
Damn, that was good timing. I didn't even play anything yet.
Welcome back, Joe. You didn't miss anything lewd, unfortunately, but we have made contact with Valanna's sister.
Damn, she's not looking too good. This girl trying to cosplay Hinata because she cannot pull it off.
No, Joe, she definitely has the taint, which tracks, because the architect can magically enhance the taint in both wardens and non-wardens. Weird that our darkspawn veteran POTUS can't identify that in her, though.
Girl is basically experiencing the mind break tag in real time. I'm really sorry for your lost elf, Mommy. If you need a shoulder to cry on, believe me, I'm available.
I'm pretty sure you mean a lap to cry on, Donald. But now that we are out of prison, we should go snoop through the architect's lab. He has some gifts for Anders in the corner, as well as a unique armor piece for Nathaniel if we solve the puzzle.
I like how POTUS is strong enough to just kind of dunk on darkspawn now with his bare hands. If you see POTUS boxing a grizzly bear, you already know to start helping the bear. But Barry, did you just mention solving a puzzle? What the hell am I supposed to do here?
So none of the notes actually give any advice about this puzzle, so there's no easy solution. To break it down for the viewers, the lever on the left shifts the flames clockwise, and the right lever reverses the flames farthest from the platform. The goal is to extinguish all the flames so that the gas disperses. The best tip I can give is to hit the left lever 3 times, and then...
Oh, hey, I got it.
Joe, did you just figure out the puzzle without trying?
Yeah, I basically just alternated left and right twice, and it worked.
Get fucked. Nerd Bomber, Joe. Just outscaled you on game knowledge. Good shit, best buddy.
I mean, there's tons of ways to finish the puzzle because of the nature of the puzzle, but whatever, good shit, Joe. Make sure you give Dragon spite to Nathaniel. It's gonna come in clutch later on.
What the hell kind of Looney Tunes experiments happened here? Does that skeleton have 2 heads on one body?
The body's really small too, so it's either a dwarf or a child with 2 heads.
Considering they were shoved in a secret passage, they either trapped themselves there or the architect threw him in there to hide his experiments.
Wait, hang on, peek incoming.
Say the line, Bart.
Hey, that's mine. That thing has my things. It's got its sallow, clammy hands all over my doodads, touching my junk. No one touches Argren's junk and lives!
Goddamn, that line never gets old even 14 years later.
As silly as it is, Steve Blum nailed that line in spite of that.
Rent was definitely due for Steve, but goddamn, this Ogren clone has dragons helping him, bro. Came prepared.
I'm pretty sure this is the first time we have fought dragons since the EarnQuest line. And no, I'm not counting the Archdemon, he was his own thing.
You know, I'll just bring up the elephant in the room here. What do you boys think about this quest as a concept? Like, how do you feel about losing our gear and having to kill darkspawn with our hands and their own weapons?
Hold up, got to give Elf Mommy a shiny gem real quick.
Oh, damn, good call, Joe.
Well, personally, I like this idea on paper. I love it when games take away your hard-won inventory late in the game and fills you with that, oh shit moment I need to scavenge for a weapon immediately. That's why Dead Money is my personal favorite Fallout DLC. But that being said, I never felt like taking away our warden's weapons here really challenged us. I mean, we barely had trouble fighting the spawn here, and now we are already about to have half our squad fully equipped again. I think they made the enemies too toned down because our inventory is gone, and so the challenge in this section just isn't there.
I have to agree this section was unique on paper, but it's short-lived since it's only like 5 short fights before you get everything back. Also, this dude over here is doing his best impression of that one fish in SpongeBob with the glass legs.
Unlike the fish, I don't think this guy is going to get a chance to break his legs again. He did answer a question we had at the start of the episode, though. He says the wardens were at Vigil's, keep only a week before the darkspawn attacked. It's no wonder they didn't notice the tunnels. 1 week is hardly enough time to move in the supplies you need.
Wait, this guy is a warden? That means they dragged this guy halfway around the map from Vigil's, keep to the middle of the woods. How the hell did they do that?
Magic, obviously.
I got to agree with Joe here, but you bring up a good point. It doesn't make that much sense. Only other thing I can say about this guy is he is friends with the Orlesian warden, if you choose that origin. There's special dialogue that he took the joining with you. He has a short quest to get his wedding ring back from the darkspawn that broke his legs, so we might as well take care of it.
Bro died a shoeless cuck. Death was a mercy to him. Let's give him some get back, though. Bro deserves at least one win in his life, being a Grey Warden and all.
We're going to spin back for Keenan and all the other nameless wardens that we lost. But first, we got to get our girl's gear back off her clone.
The architect can't even make the clones of our party hot. What's the good of being a pervert obsessed with kidnapping and roofies if you can't make your clones look good?
For real, if you're going to be a creepy researcher, at least make something useful or cool. What was Bro even trying to do here anyway?
His notes, again, don't explain what his plan was, but given what we find out at the end of the game, it's a fair assumption that he wanted to clone Grey Wardens to see if he could get an infinite supply of Grey Warden blood. Either that, or he just wanted to study the hero of Ferelden specifically. Speaking of the notes, though, the notes scattered around the dungeon reveal there was a cut-awakened darkspawn known as the Seeker, who was the one who originally captured Serani and killed the other Delish and framed the humans for it. So it wasn't actually the architect's plan, but one of his minions that caused everything that happened in the Wending Woods.
Even if it was one of his minions, he's still the villain of this story since he created the damn intelligent darkspawn.
To add to his felony counts, the only people he recruits and keeps around are women. And guess what happens when women get exposed to another taint? We get the mother to Electric Boogaloo.
Well, one of those women is a former Grey Warden from the novel The Calling, so she can't really become a broodmother. Although I guess we can't know for sure. The architect might have a way to bypass the Warden resistance, but for now, he's using her as sort of a test tube. So almost all the awakened darkspawn that we see in this game come from Utha's blood. In exchange for this, Utha wants to not only end the blights forever as the architect promised, but she also wants no harm to come to any Grey Wardens, as we can see in a few letters addressed to her around the dungeon.
Well, bro already broke that promise. He wiped out 12 Grey Wardens at Vigil's Keep alone, and he could have killed 3 more just now if he really felt like it. I wonder how the hell he spun that to Utha.
She looks pretty far gone from the taint by this point. I don't think there's as much frontal lobe activity going on up there. Not all of us can be high IQ cultured gamers, right, Donald?
Quite so, my dear friend. It takes intense training to cultivate the waifu tastes that you and me are developing. And may I say you are playing exceptionally well today? Absolutely beautiful. You even grabbed the unique Sigrun gift off the random body, bro. Is popping off today.
God damn it. I really thought we moved past this Twilight Zone-ass episode where I'm the only one realizing what's going on. I'm really going to have to put in effort into resetting the timeline, aren't I?
There's no stopping Brotherhood, Barry. And speaking of Brotherhood, it's time we get back for our Grey Warden cut Keenan.
Well, bro has a few dragons in his arsenal too. Weirdly enough, the drakes drop a drake scale just like in base Origins. But in Awakening, the drake scale actually doesn't do anything, so it's really just a rare collectible now. Also, this area is where you can get the fresh dragon egg, which is the unique component in the boss weapon Sword Vigilance.
Oh shit, Joe, don't forget to grab that we should really put our heads together and decide how we are going to build the sword that will ascend POTUS into godhood. Personally, I am partial to a flexible sword that aids in defense, but as my best friend Joe, I want your input as well. What are you thinking about?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Defense is pretty good, but I think we should go with Wade's suggestion to buff all our stats by 4 and then do raw power for the extra fire damage it offers, since if you look at...
Oh, wow. Hey, Donald, look at that. Joe just pushed ahead of you in the boss challenge. I guess he is going to take the lead this episode.
Wait, what?
Oh, wow, I didn't even notice. I guess I am going to end today's episode with a 2-boss lead. I was really serious about making this competition interesting, wasn't I, best buddy?
Hey, Joe?
Yes, Donald?
I have one simple question for you if you will humor me.
Sure, Donald, what's on your mind?
Well, I was just wondering how it feels to rig another goddamn competition. You child-sniffing, easy mode playing, calm and loot dropping, necrotic, sleepy fuck.
Oh, get the Big Macs out of your hungry, hungry hippo cheeks and use your feeble brain for once in your life. Double D. I was the last one to pick the main quest out of all 3 of you, and we literally agreed on the turn order of the missions. Don't hate me because I'm making the most out of what was handed to me. Something that you clearly never did in 2016.
Oh, you want to talk about 2016, do you? Your talentless ass would have never even been relevant if Nerd Bama here didn't think he could use some old man as a vice president to make his ass seem young by comparison. My God, I wish anyone in your gene pool had any sense in their head or talent in their bones, because maybe if they did, your dad would have had enough skill to pull out.
You feel that, boys? The timeline has been reset and everything is once again balanced as it should be. Doesn't this feel more natural?
Shut up, Barry!
Okay, I will take that as progress. Well, I'm going to give these guys some deep breathing, and we will cut back when we are back to normal.
All right, Barry, I still hate Donald, but I can't lie, listening to some bardic notes and meditation really helped.
Yeah, and the Morrigan Mommy ASMR you found really helped, and I appreciate you door-dashing me McDonald's using our editor's credit card. I guess we really do need you in this group after all.
Happy to be of service, and I'm happy to have everything back to normal again, boys. Anyway, I know we must have mentioned this over an hour ago, but Joe, the Ring of Discipline to go with the Ring of Mastery we found in the Keep's basement is right inside the chest. Sarani gave us a key for earlier.
Oh, hell yeah, it's mage time, boys. This is going to be the perfect upgrade for my girl Valanna. It buffs her spell power, mana, and tankiness with the set constitution buff that both rings give.
Yeah, you would think she is your girl, you damn cheater. But I'm here to tell you to get to the back of the line. I saw her first sleepy.
Donald, I am the one that recruited her. That means I got dibs.
Is that how it goes? That's good to know, sleepy.
Why did that sound so ominous? Also, hey, it looks like the architect made a Sten clone, too.
Not a Sten clone, but he is the one and only Kunari we see in Awakening. It's interesting that he is a merchant. That's not what I would call a typical Kunari profession, especially for a man, but I guess he is Tal Vasoth. Either way, it's important to ask him to sell his goods at the Vigil now, since we technically can't come back here once we leave. That goes for all the gifts and the dragon egg, as well as viewers.
Wow, a stadium, very dramatic architect.
Oh, you want drama, do you, Sleepy Joe? Well, how's this for a dramatic third act?
Wait, Themey, how the hell are you alive?
Wait, that's Themey? Why the hell can I hear him too?
Are we all in the fade, or are we all collectively tripping what is happening?
The architect harvested Joe's blood to create the dragons you see before you, and guess who still existed in the essence of Sleepy Joe?
Uthmariel, don't be rude. Who are your friends here?
Oh, wow. Themey, please introduce your little friend here.
Oh, right, this is my, friend Thelma.
Oh, a friend am I? That's not what you were telling me last night, Uthmariel, you bitch.
God damn it, woman, don't make a scene in front of the presidential bitch boys. It's 2 on 3, and we still have a secret technique up our sleeve.
Hey, Themey, why did you both fly up in the air and then teleport back down when you mentioned a secret technique?
Oh, wouldn't you like to know, Sleepy Joe? Too bad we are going to clap you up faster than your own party did when they forced you to sit in the literal corner this election cycle.
Hey, that was my choice. I wanted to focus on Dragon Age. No one forces Biden to do anything except Liliana, Meryl, Jill, Sarah, and Kamala during the first 30 minutes when I wake up in the morning. But other than that, it's Biden on top.
Damn, I almost like this guy if he didn't insult the 2 best girls in the series, Morrigan and Isabella. I'd even say he could replace Sleepy Joe.
Hold on. I would never insult the 2 best
Morrigan
romances.
is just a basic goth poser, and Isabella is just a fat disease carrier, you overweight Lorax.
Oh, you did not just say that, bitch. It is on, Joe. I want every gun we have to fire on that gender-bent archdemon.
Lame-ass reference, Oompa Loompa.
Yeah, we don't acknowledge the Disney trilogy here.
So Joe, are we just supposed to ignore the fact that Uthmariel sounds almost verbatim like Harbinger from Mass Effect?
Don't whine about my voice, Oblama. You sound like I put your balls in a meat tenderizer. I'm an ancient god 10 times your size. My voice reflects that.
Oh, please, you're trying too hard again, dear. You're no longer in your giant archdemon form. You're now a regular tainted dragon. You have to accept your new form at some point.
This form is temporary. Once I defeat these 3, I can take my rightful place as ruler of the Freelands and get whatever physical form I want.
You mean our rightful place? You told me last night this was a joint effort between us and that you needed me too.
Oh, yes, dear. Of course I meant us.
Looks like some trouble in paradise. Let me go ahead and add some popcorn to my McDonald's order.
There's not really anything tactical about what you're doing, though. You're just flying away so we can't hit you and dropping in a random location.
Tactically lick my nuts, Sleepy Joe.
Oh, so in addition to shit taste, you guys are also stealing my jokes.
Well, how is this for tactics? Come, Thelma, execute the pincer formation and focus on their archer. That's the real key to their strength.
You're right, that asshole has a bow empowered by pure racism that has no place in 2024.
Joke's on you, racism unlike you will never die.
Don't I know it?
Nathaniel is the definition of built different, bro. Tanked that overwhelm and still got the kill on the first dragon.
Did you 3 just kill my girl, who was just a friend and nothing more?
Don't you know it, Themey? That's just how POTUS rolls.
Excellent. Now I can not only rule alone, as the Elder Scrolls foretold, but now I can get my Ornstein buff. Witness me.
Was something supposed to happen?
Fuck! How the hell do you activate the second stage mode? I know there is more mechanics to this fight, buried somewhere in here.
Skill issue.
Well, goodbye for the second time, Themey, but before I go, a parting gift for you.
Oh, God damn it.
Our hero claims a warrior's heart. I tell you that dragonborn call.
Wrong game, just kill me already, dumbass.
With a voice wielding power of the ancient Nordheart. Believe that dragonborn come.
Joe, that was beautiful.
Yes, you're the next American Idol, Joe, but can we focus on how this dude is charging his damn energy right now for a final flash? Sparking Zero is next week, Lil Bro.
Well, we lost the sister, so our threesome dreams will have to be put on hold for now, but at least we still have Valanna in the squad.
Yeah, just put aside all your concerns about how darkspawn use women as broodmothers. I'm sure Serrani will be the exception. This is probably one of the most ill-informed reasons to become a Grey Warden. Sure, you can sense darkspawn but you have to dedicate your life to our order, and you get to live about 20 more years before the taint ends you.
Oh, also you can die straight up from the joining.
Counterpoint, she's too hot to die, she will be fine.
Ah, yes, of course. How could we forget the golden rule? If you're hot, you don't die.
You're hired? Of course you have the assets it takes to become a Grey Warden.
Well, we have two good items. We can loot off the Earthamil clones. We can get the ferret gloves, a good later game item for Nathaniel, and the Landsmeat shield, which is the second strongest shield in the game, besides the Heartwood shield. With those grabbed, I think it's time to call it here and kick it back to me next episode.
Sounds good, Barry. 22 bosses killed now, by the way, Donald.
Piss off Sleepy.
Well, viewers, thank you so much for watching. As always, our editor wouldn't be able to get these videos out as quickly without the insane support you guys have shown us. Don't forget to like the video, to thumb my ass, and to answer the comment question on your favorite new ability from Awakening down below. We also have a Discord for our Dragon Age community that our editor is pretty active on, link in the description. We recently had another President's creator, Mr. Micron, join our Discord, and to show our appreciation, we are going to link his President's playlist in the end screen and ask that you please all check him out. He makes Dead by Daylight content with a continuous story, and his game knowledge is not only top tier, but the chemistry he shows between this alternate reality of us is really well written and wholesome. Let him know Fox sent you. With that all being said, stay safe, Biden out.